What up, y'all? Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94. We are here for episode 75 of Shorty's Sneaker Conversations. Can't believe I've been blessed to do 75 episodes of this show. It's a beautiful thing. What's up, Ash? All right, Carl, I'm about to send you the invite. Hopefully these lights will start working eventually. This one is. There we go. What's up, Izzy? What is up, sir?
What's up, sir? How you doing?
Good, good. I see you got the high school jersey on there.
Yeah, it's a little tight, China don't make them how they supposed to, man, but I figure I'll put something on.
For sure. Well, this is episode 75, the Kobe episode with Carl Batson Jr., legend. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Say my whole name, man. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good, good. Just for everybody who don't know what the KBR Jr. is.
Yeah, people be like, what does it stand for? Just my name, man. My
Yeah.
whole name.
I had to figure that out. I put it together one day. I was like, looking at your face, I'm like, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, you've been on enough of these, so you know what we do. Got to start
Yes,
off,
sir.
asking you what's the most positive thing you was able to take from the world since the pandemic started.
Well, for me, man, it was just basically just tell your family you love them, man. Because myself personally, I lost my mom, a while back in '09. So, unfortunately, people passing away doesn't surprise me because I never thought I'd lose my mom. But, life happens. So, just telling family you love them, you know what I'm saying? Because you just don't know.
Got you. Got you. Now, for the people who don't know, you introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them where you're from. What you do, how you feeling today. If you rocked anything.
Boy, I'm from Northeast. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, man. I'm living in Shaker Heights right now, but I was born and raised in Cleveland.
Shaker.
Um, Here you go. That's funny. Yeah, I had to put my son in Shaker schools, man. I can't have my son down, in Cleveland Public Schools, man. Ain't the same no more. But I did go. I attended John Hay High School, the home of Reuben Patterson, the Kobe stopper,
Kobe stop.
and Charles Oakley. Look at wifey. She ain't. Where wifey went to school at?
Collinwood.
Oh, okay. At least she Cleveland Public. There we go.
Yeah,
That's Senate right there. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I'm Carl. I'm just try to be the best dad I can be, and try to keep my lights on, man, and enjoy life. That's pretty much it.
for sure. For sure. I know you got her in the comments. Woodhouse. I don't know.
It's all about that hay house, man. We don't mess with Collinwood.
Well, good to have you on, man. Well,
Yeah, I'm glad we finally can make it happen, man. We talked about it months ago. I said I'm going on vacation in March, so we're gonna make it happen. So we here.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll dive right into the sneaker beginnings. I got to ask you, what's your earliest sneaker memory?
So for me, Chris, that's hard because, like, back in 2000s, I was buying a lot of clothes. You know what I'm saying? I was at Randall Park Mall buying stuff from Scorpio, Next,
Scorpio.
City Blue, downtown Superior, everywhere, whatever. But I will probably say maybe the first sneaker I really loved was the Air Penny 2.
Okay.
And that was probably sixth grade. And the deep browns, whatever. But I wasn't heavy into sneakers in elementary, maybe more towards high school.
Got you. Got you. Yeah, man. I'll just say, with us being from Cleveland, being a few years, we're really from the same era. I don't really feel like Cleveland ever really recovered from losing Randall because that was our sneaker mall,
It was.
because, at one point you had all of the Foot Locker umbrella, Foot Locker, Lady Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker,
Foot
Champ,
action.
Foot Action. Then you still have Finish Line. You had Next. You had City Blue. City Blues offshoot, Scorpio, and
Mm-hmm.
Lady Blue.
Right.
You had Athletic Attic. You had Athlete's Foot. Just a sneaker heaven. What's up?
Right. Right.
What's up? So, yeah, it was a really special place, and I mean, it's been gone since 2008. So they've kind of dispersed it between, Given Next and what was Villa, now DTL,
Right.
everything. And I will
See,
say, oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I mean, go ahead.
And Finish Line, now it's, I guess, JD Sports, the buyout, but Finish Line, is pretty good in Cleveland. It's much better than it is now here.
Yeah. So for me, like back in that era, like I was buying like S dots, man, S Carters and stuff like that. Like me and my best friend, dude, we was just like, I mean, we would spend $500 on clothes, whether it was Rockaware, Nietzsche, and all that stuff, and we was wearing S dot Carters. Like we went to New York, you know what I'm saying, whatever, in '03, '04 to buy S dots. Real big Jay Z head. I was kind of like, crazy, with it. Like I was so thirsty, Chris, that I would take the insoles out of shoes just to wear them from Next at Randall Park Mall.
Yeah.
So, and at that time, I had a big.
Oh, we got a little bit of technical difficulties. 500 was like 3 outfits and brands were expensive. Yeah. It was more like 5 outfits.
The jeans alone was $100.
Oh, looks like we lost our guest here. Trying to get him back in a sec. Hey, man, you gotta chill, man. Yeah, so while we wait for Mr. JC and his video went out. Oh man. Hey, I will say there we got you back.
That's crazy, man. Like, this iPad I had just went dead. Like, I'm like sitting here using it and just went dead. So that's crazy. So I hope nobody called my phone now, but it is what it is. But like it was crazy, man. A Rockaware velour jogging suit was $200. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So it wasn't really the shoes for me. It was more the clothes, and it was just like Air Force Ones, S dots, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Sure, for sure. I will say, I mean, that was a great era for clothes. I still have some of that stuff. A lot of it I have given away. My father was really, he would always, stuff would be like, this is a little too big for me. I'm not wearing this anyway. He would always kind of like, well, I'll just take this and this then, So, yeah, some of my urban stuff, but I kept I kept all my leathers, and I was into the clothes like that as well, as the shoes. I mean, I think that my favorite brand probably was Academics
Mm-hmm.
during that time, just because they used so much earth tones.
You're right.
I had Rockaware, but I still tried to be, since so many people wore it,
Mm-hmm.
I used to try to pull it out some of the time, I like.
Remember this red academic jogging suit I had, like, and I would ride in the car playing Fabulous, listen to the Fabulous song, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So, yeah, Academics was happening too, Fat Farm, a little bit of Sean John, but, it was mostly Rockaware for me, man. You couldn't tell me shit, you know what I'm saying, with Rockaware on, whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. See how this man is drinking out of a glass and not a jug. Yeah, my wife is really fired up. You know what I mean? So,
It all started with the John Hay comment, you know what I'm saying, whatever, shit, she been on one.
it's all right, them light skins be. So,
Yeah, married to one, so I get it, whatever, I keep plus married, so
yeah, yeah, man.
if she likes, right.
Oh man, the show, man. Well, this is the Kobe episode, so
Yes,
we
sir.
got get to start talking about Kobe and his sneaker legacy. Um, when did you first realize that you was messing with Kobe?
The shoes or Kobe, period.
Both. We can do one after the other.
I'll go with Kobe, the player, first. So it was obviously 1997 here in Cleveland, Ohio. Um, my pops was fortunate enough to take me to All Star Weekend, and I said to him like, "Dad, why is this dude dunking with his warm up jersey on?" You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really know who Kobe was. I ain't gonna act like I did, but from that day on, I decided that he was gonna be my favorite player. Whatever. And I'm not gonna act like I'm a Lakers fan because I'm not. I'm a Kobe fan, which he plays for the Lakers. So once
Mm-hmm.
I hired, that shit ended for me. Whatever. As far as the Lakers. But not that I want to see him do bad, but I thought that shit was corny. LeBron going to LA. I thought the shit was real corny. I mean, like, why you want to go somewhere where a bunch of players already had good legacies there? I mean, I get it. You like the weather, but you can go wherever you want to, anytime you want to, in the off season. But that's his choice. Whatever. As far as shoes, man, I bought my first pair of Kobe's in 2005. I bought my first pair of Kobe's 2005, and that's when I started buying Kobe's. Then, and it was nice when it was 130, and you didn't have to worry about getting them at all. Like, I mean, it was that was the good old days. But you know, oh, I see my boy Chris in here. Geek
Shout out to
Chris.
Chris. Geeker Sneaks.
He loved that. He loved LeBron. He got too many damn LeBrons, man. Like, so. But that's his guy, so I ain't gonna hate on that. That's your guy too, so I get it. But like, for me, my problem is, bro, I wear a size 16 shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't have the luxury of getting the shoes that y'all get. That's why I enjoy watching your shows, because I get to live through y'all and a little bit through my son. I can't get Griffeys. I can't get, Air Maxes unless I want some black or white ones. That shit whack. That's not happening. Um, so it's different, for me. Like, if you go on the sneakers out right now, all the shoes go up to a 15. So for me to get a Kobe shoe, it makes me extremely happy. And that's the only shoe I will pay resale for. If it's anything else, if I don't get it retail, fuck it. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what.
Like I have no problem. I mean, those of y'all in the comments to me, those of y'all who actually know me know how much I love the Lakers, but also how much I love Kobe. Like when I hit on sneakers for the Bruce Lees, I actually shed some tears behind that. I was sitting on my couch watching Kobe highlights from '07, '08, just hoping that it would happen. And I was able to hit on the Bruce Lees, and it's not even like I wanted that color. I wanted it. I wanted it in 2010, but it wasn't coming out. Kobe's wasn't coming out like that in our city.
Right.
We get the regular ones. We might get a Lakers away, Lakers home, and maybe another couple colors, but nothing too special. So, it's like a whole different meaning wearing them. Especially now. But you got a lot of good Kobe's, man. A lot of good.
Funny though, I actually my lady friend Nina, man, like, she got this portrait for me of Kobe, like, the year he passed away. And she had her brother try for the first pair of Kobe's, the big stages that came out, the very first pair since he died.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother hit on me, and I hit too. And so I'm like, shit, that's kind of nice, retail. But also too, having a big foot, everybody ain't running to get a size 16, 17 either, so that makes it a little bit easier.
Sure.
And so I hit on the first three pair of Kobe's that came out retail: the Bruce Lees, the five tie champs, and the big stages. So it was nice.
Yeah, I didn't really try for the big stage because I was hoping that they released them the way his were instead of combining them the way they did.
Right.
But now I kind of wish that I would have just tried for it because I always wanted those black and gold big stages. And, that's a special shoe because that's the shoe that, we beat the Celtics in. Kobe got his get back from '08.
Man, hey, I ain't watched SportsCenter for 2 months, man. They talked about that shit so long. They talked about Kobe can't win without Shaq. I had to ever, man. That shit irked my soul, man. So, Yeah, man. Like to hit on those retail, it meant something to me, whatever, So I was extremely happy.
Yeah, and I also want to give props to you. Those Kobe twos, man, the black and yellow ones, the Carpe Diems, man. Props on. I'm
Yeah.
glad you had those. You sent me the picture. I was like, happy for you. Yours look great. Mine look like, nigga, you've had those since 2007, huh? That's how mine looks.
So quick story about that, man. I had sent you a picture of it a while back, and I was talking to my boy Chris, Geek Sneakers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, don't buy. You probably gonna open the box up. The motherfuckers gonna just crumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, Chris, I got to take that chance, man. So they actually came last Friday from the UK. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I had texted you like, how do they fit? And ironically, man, they fit good. They don't run small like the newer Kobe's do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good, man. It makes me happy, man.
Yeah, and that the way that that shoe is set up, the way the thigh line kind of goes across with the zoom. For me, all of my problems with them are just from the uppers. The black ones aren't as bad. Like my white ones, the Thrive ones, those those are pretty.
Yeah.
The yellow one from all the plastic, man. They look they didn't age well.
And see, it pisses me off, man. When I turned like 28 years old, I was a size 15.
Mm-hmm.
Pair of Kobe's, dude, that like I just got rid of. Now if I known the brother was gonna pass away, I may have kept them. But I got rid of them. Like I wear 16 now. I don't need them no more. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That really killed my collection. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but life happens, man. You got to deal with shit and move on, man.
What pairs did you end up giving up?
Dude, I gave up dude, it was the Kobe, which the ones I sent you. I got them in 2011. Most of them was like Kobe ADs. You know what I'm saying? Whatever,
Okay.
Actually, I had a pair of the Kobe helicopters that I would never get again.
Yeah. Those
Most
were
of,
hard. He was living.
yeah, whatever. But thank God I didn't give up the Grinches because I didn't get them until 2020 because 2010 that was an L for everybody, and I had to pay resale in 2020. But a lot of the stuff, some of the stuff I gave to my dad, and he don't know what he did it. He did because my dad still wear 15.
Mm-hmm.
But he don't know what he did with the shit. So, but a couple of them was hyper dunks. I had the black and yellow hyper dunks. Whatever. It was,
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It wasn't no Kobe ones. Whenever like that. It was more the newer stuff. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no Kobe Adidas because I didn't fuck with Kobe Adidas to tell you the truth. You know, I just got my first pair of Kobe Adidas in 2021, so I'm not gonna act like I messed with them like that. I didn't.
Yeah, nah, man, I feel you on that. Every pair of Adidas Kobe's I have, I either found they were either thrifted or from the outlet.
Right.
2015, there were a lot of Adidas Kobe's in the Champs outlet that's in Solon, and the other one used to be in Strongsville. Um, the Sunshine Kobe's, the Stormtroopers, like I was getting all of them for like 40, $50 because if you weren't a Kobe fan or a sneakerhead, you wasn't, hell, even
Right.
if you're, most people wasn't messing with those. So I definitely get it. I'm interested to see how these new retros do.
So I heard you speak on that in the yesterday show with your wife, and you said you didn't think Kobe's was coming out to December. Obviously besides the Kobe and GD shoes, right? That's what you said.
Yeah,
I think all of that was supposed to release, they're gonna drop those first.
yeah,
And
probably.
they'll retros, which I hope they don't do. They don't retro like no Kobe sevens because nobody want those. Whatever. But I will take the Christmas ones though.
Hey,
Um,
hey, the 7 is the best low top Kobe there is.
I just got a 7 too. Back in new 7 in back in November off of eBay. But I'm just saying, it's other shit you can put out before you put that out.
Listen, I'm here for all the Kobe 2 and Kobe 3 Pro Tros. That's all I need. And then I may be done. I don't really, because everybody loves the Kobe 4 and the Kobe 6. Those are like two of my least favorite ones. But I only got 2 Kobe 3s, and I've got a decent amount of Kobe 2s, but I still want more of them. And there were a lot of colors that just never came out that were just for Kobe.
Yeah, your wife said you won't be done. Chris said, "Facts, sir." Yeah, man, Chris is a bad influence on me though, man. Because like I'll be in dilemma about some shit, and I'll text him. He like, "Carl, just go ahead and get him, man. You know you want him, man. He'll say some shit like, "Oh, it's only 4 easy payments of whatever, whatever." I'm like, dude, man, he's a bad influence, man. That's my guy though, man. Like, he really do this shit. You definitely got to get him on the show.
Yeah,
Hope soon, one of these days.
definitely one of the best in the city.
I would pay whatever for a pair of Kobe threes, though, man. I would pay whatever. It don't matter, but
With the 2 and the 3, I mean, these were hard to come by when Kobe was still with us because there weren't any of them. Like, I was still technically a Foot Locker employee when the 3 came out, but I wasn't really working there. I was just on the schedule with no days, so my discount still worked. So I was able to get the black and white ones from Foot Locker at Tower City, and I got lucky and found the Minneapolis pair at Aurora Farms.
Right.
One random day I went out there, but they weren't like around like that. Like, since there was no House of Hoops, Foot Locker at Tower City used to get some of the, I ain't gonna say limited, but less produced Kobe's, but it still wasn't House of Hoops level. So I feel like I'd have more Kobe's if I weren't from Cleveland.
I have more Kobe's in my foot than grow, at the age of 28 and shit, like to go from a 15 to a 16, that shit hurt. So now I'm in that bracket where I can't walk in the store and buy a shoe. So I need, I'll be having like 4 or 5 people try for me. Like Chris is the main one. He texts me like, "L, bro." I'm like, "Damn, thank you, man." Like I still ain't hit for this nigga yet. I feel bad, what I'm saying, whatever. So, but I be trying though, whatever. But that's why I be telling you, like, you and your wife, man. Like I'm very limited with I can get shoes because everything don't come out in my size. Y'all talk about Air Maxes and shit. All I have is a pair of black Air Maxes. That shit don't matter. Like the shit don't come out in the 16. It just don't. I'm restricted to Kobe's, Jordans, LeBrons, Paul, body buying that shit. Whatever. Kyrie's and KD's, what I'm saying? Whatever, so like that's where I'm at, whatever. So
Yeah, just
like,
basketball shoes.
for my shoes for my son, it's a damn shame you can't even get a $120 shoe. I ain't paying that shit. I'd rather have a 180, what I'm saying? Whatever in your voice.
Nah, I do want to ask you what keeps you engaged with the shoe game beyond Kobe's, with that being, kind of a handicap for you not being able to get a lot of the shoes. What keeps you engaged in it?
Probably trying to get stuff for my son, man. My son, he wear 9.5, and like, for Christmas I got him the Hall of Fame Kobe's, whatever, but my son had all kind of shoes, Curry's, all that type of stuff. But I try to explain to him, son, you're gonna keep growing. Daddy's not. So he's like, "Oh, you got a pair of Kobe's, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I paid for them too." What I'm saying? That, but like when I pick him up from school, he go to Woodbury and shit. I pick him up from school, and he'd be like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm on GOAT." I'm like, "You got homework?" He's like, "No, I ain't got no homework." But he on GOAT, seeing what's on GOAT. Like I'm about to just go buy him some shit off here all the time. But what keeps is, like, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question, Chris, because nothing makes me happy but getting Kobe's. I mean, Jordan's is cool. I got the cool grades, but like, shit, that shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got those. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like I guess to answer your question, it would probably be getting shoes for my son. That keeps me interested. Whatever. Because he's starting to get into dunks, and little stuff like that. But he wear 9.5, so I could get it for him.
Got you. Now, I don't think they really carried your size, but shout out to Urban Cleveland Retro who just came in here. One place I used to get Kobe's on the low was Family Sportswear, right where the Horseshoe Garage is now, right on Prospect. Like every pair of Kobe ones I have, I got from there for $39.99.
Man,
because they just weren't. And this was right before Nike did it, where it's like, yeah, you can only get Kobe's at Foot Locker from like 2 through like 6, but.
Right.
But yeah, that was a spot where I used to go. But go ahead.
But even like, like I be trying to look, for like pennies still. Like, I can't find no pennies nowhere. I mean, I found some pennies. They was size 17, but the air bubble was busted. I'm like, I'm not buying that shit. Like I give you $5. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. The shoe game is like it's whack. Honestly, for real, like because I remember when the Hall of Fame Kobe's came out. Up until that day, they would come out to 18, and then on the actual release date, that shit came out to a 15. Like I'm like, shit is. I'm saying that, So, um, I'm. The best news is they're gonna release more Kobe's, but I ain't paying resale for that shit though. I'm not. I've done enough of that.
All right. Well, that kind of leads me into my next question. I was going to ask you. With Nike and the Kobe estate, coming to an agreement. What they're going to release the Giannis shoe first because that was supposed to come out anyway, so we already know that's coming. But what's the Kobe? Well, before we even get to that, what's something you want to see from them? What's something you want to see from them? I know you want bigger sizing, but
I mean, what I want to see from them, I want them to put out a lot of shoes, so we can kill some of that resale because I want this shit to go back to when niggas wasn't buying Kobe's. You know what I'm saying? When I had peace of mind. I mean, like you ain't got to that Gianna shoe. I'm not buying it. I mean, I may get it for my son, but the shit is whack. I'm not. I mean, I love Kobe to death, man. Gigi, God rest their soul. But I would try to get it for my son, but I wouldn't get it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Whatever at all. I just want them to put out more shoes, so I don't have to go to GOAT and StockX and eBay. You know what I'm saying? And pay shit for a shoe that wasn't selling. We all know people like to capitalize when somebody died, especially when they famous. So, you know,
mm,
it is what it is. I mean, niggas selling all shoes for 180. So it's a Puma. You know what I'm saying? That don't make nobody sense.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Um, I'm not really interested in the Giannis shoe. I respect what it is, and I'm sure the money will go to certain proceeds. But it just looks like a team based Kobe 6 you would find in East Bay back in the day. The team based colors they make for like college and high school basketball teams, and it's just got a little bit of branding on it. It's not really a whole lot to it.
real basic, man. And like my son, he would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? That's grabbing for him. But I won't be grabbing it for myself, though. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I would I don't know. I would never see myself wearing them just because I would rather wear the Del Sol. Because like when you and I have our actual conversations, I mean, you already know I'm going to say this. The Kobe's that he wore and did things in are what mean the most to me. You know, now what used to make me mad when Kobe was playing was that a lot of the stuff he would do in like PEs, where it's like, yeah, these are never out. It's a Laker colorway, or either it's only going to come out in Asia or Latin America or something. It's not coming out in a regular store. So but yeah, for me, I would like to see them make more or have larger allocations of shoes, and I just need them to be. Yeah, that's what I want. I need them to be more available, like how they were. I don't think it'll ever be like how it was before he passed, just because he's passed. But I do need there to be more. I need them to make Kobe's like how they make Jordans.
Right. And how some like they don't need to put out the ones. No, nobody wants the one. But the twos and the threes and the fours, whatever. We had enough last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And fives. So I would love to see the the Kobe 7 Christmas shoe again. Eventually, hopefully, but. I guess we got to be happy that they even come back out. Period. So we got to drive slow. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, look at it like this. They did a 10-year thing for the Grinch. That'll be a 10-year-old shoe this Christmas. So we could see it.
Never know.
2012, 2022.
Let's go.
Those, since they were a Supreme release, with the play fast and the play strong, they were 180 when they came out. So I shudder to think how much they would be now. But it might be 225 or nah, they'd be 240 like how they did those LeBrons. Woo.
Like I actually like. It's three pair of LeBrons that I actually like. The the LeBron All-Star 2s, the Nike Generation 1s, and the South Beaches. You know what I'm saying? But none of them, the South Beaches came out to a size 15, so that doesn't do me any good. And the LeBron All-Star 2, they may come out this year, whatever, later in the year. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll definitely grab those again. I actually got those from Finish Line, whatever, and a size 15 back in the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, what Kobe means the most to you?
Whew, shit. I know this is cliche to say this. You want to know what means the most, or which one is the favorite?
We could do both.
Well, my favorite obviously is the Grinch, whatever, because in 2010 when I tried to get it, it was an L. 2020 was an L. So immediately after I took that L in 2020, I'm like, this is gonna be your Christmas present, Carl. And I went on StockX and bought it, whatever, immediately after I took that L. The one that means the most is I don't know. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it's the playoff one, whatever. But the one he won his 5th championship in. I can't remember what it was. Whatever.
Oh, the big stage, the black one, the white one.
Okay. Yeah, that's what means the most. I'm sorry, no, the one that he won his 4th championship in. My bad, 4.
Oh, okay. The POP with all the writing and stuff all over it.
Yeah, that one definitely. What about you?
That I own. That one is up there. That one is up there. That POP for me though. My favorite and the one that probably means most to me is that black and white Kobe 3. Because, we lost in that to Celtics. We lost in that. But I feel like Kobe would have never won the last 2 championships had it not been for that loss.
Got our ass popped and shit, you know what I'm saying? I never forget that shit.
And some of my favorite Kobe moments leading up to that loss happened in that shoe. Like I could still see him dunking on Andre Kirilenko and Kyle Korver.
In Utah?
Going around.
In Utah, right?
Yep.
I remember that, yeah.
It was a regular season game. I remember at the post game, he said he was mad because they was booing Derek Fisher because, he was on the Jazz the previous season. He had came back to the Lakers, and it was like a wire-to-wire win for the Lakers. They never let the Jazz lead, so that's one of my favorite moments. And he had that black and white Kobe 3 on in it.
How he played with the Jazz? Didn't he play with Oklahoma City too?
That was after. After. Because when the Lakers broke up after Shaq left, he went to Golden State for a couple seasons. Then he played for Utah. Then he came back to the Lakers. And he played for OKC and Dallas after. Yeah, but yeah, man. So since we're talking about Kobe's, we touched on the Adidas ones a little bit, but what do you feel like the Adidas shoes? Where do you feel like they figure into his sneaker legacy?
Obviously, he won the slam dunk competition in a pair of Adidas. It's somewhere because he won his first couple of championships in those Adidas. You know what I'm saying? So, I just don't like Adidas. It's hard for me to have an attachment to it other than the slam. And now, release those yellow Adidas, I guess, and April, maybe, whatever. But I don't know, man. They just don't do nothing for me, man. What about
What's that?
What about you?
I mean, again, from the historical standpoint, like you said, he did win the first 3 championships in Adidas. When I get the Adidas Kobe's, again, they've always been on sale, and I generally only get what I call the real colors or the OG colors. I don't like when they was doing a lot with that, what they call the crazy one now, or the Adidas Kobe spaceship looking one. Making pairs for John Wall and pairs for Jeremy Lin and all of that. Like, I ain't buying that.
Yeah. Much.
Yeah, give me the real colors that Kobe wore. But I kind of look at them like how I look at that Kobe 3 is if those shoes weren't as whack as he felt that they must have been, he might not would ever went, to Nike.
That's true. That's facts.
So, but the Kobe 2, the Adidas Kobe 2, I've never owned it. Probably never will because people were taxing for that shoe even before he passed because they're rare. But yeah, Crazy Eights. Those are good. I've always wanted a pair of regular black and whites. I've never owned a regular black and white Crazy Eight. I have the All-Star Crazy Eight that he wore when he was going up against Jordan, the black and purple and gold. But that's probably the only one I need, and just a black crazy one, and I'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, these Kobe's that's coming out, this year, hopefully. I'm probably gonna try for every one just because I have to, because like you don't know what you're gonna get, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So, besides the Gianna shoe, whatever. But I'm probably gonna try, whatever, for every pair because you got to see if you can get them, whatever. So, but to be honest, I remember when we talked about this months ago on those and on the comments, you said that you actually said they was gonna work something out, and I said they wasn't, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So I'm like, how you gonna market a dead man? Yeah, I know his shoes are popular in the NBA. All the players wear them now, and some of them wore them back then before he died, whatever. But I just didn't see the focus, the point, because every motherfucker want to buy the shoe just to resell. They don't even want the shit, you know what I'm saying? They want to buy the
Yeah,
shoe. It's just like right now, buy some Jordans for 170 and you trying to sell them for 220. Like, what's the point of that shit? You ain't making no damn money. That
yeah,
shit. Like let a motherfucker that really want the shoe.
yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree. I think that since Nike's done such a good job in the past with Wyatt and Kennedy on storytelling, that maybe we can focus on the greatness that Kobe achieved both on and off the court. So it is tough to market somebody that's no longer here, but in a way, I feel like it's easier because we go back to when we was young. When Tupac and Big got murdered, it was like they were even bigger than when they were living.
That's
So
fact. Very, very. That's a pretty good point right there.
yeah, I think that they're going to do the same, and I really hope that. Yeah, I'm just being selfish. I just hope they bring back and Pro Trail the 2 and the 3 because I'm trying to get every single one of those. I wasn't really trying on a lot of the Kobe's before they stopped it just because I didn't like a lot of them, but
You got those already too. That's why you weren't trying.
well, there were a few I took an L on. Like I wanted the 5 rings Kobe 5 because he actually wore that.
Black and
which one?
the Michigan color ones.
Yeah, they were they had the stuff all over them.
Because it was Michigan colors, man. That shit like it didn't sit well with me,
Yeah, but like I said, some of the OGs that he wore, I did try for the All-Star Kobe 6, but I do think that it's going to be different, and I think that Nike and Vanessa are going to be a little more adamant on getting people who actually want the shoes.
Let us.
Hopefully. All right.
A couple guys on Instagram that we both follow, Daryl, he gonna have them regardless, man. Like the shit he got, man, is impeccable, man. Like, I mean, like every time he posts a shoe, it's like, damn, how the fuck he get those? You know what I'm saying? Like, he just well connected, man. He blessed though.
Yeah, Mr. Glover has a lot. Like he was actually guest 24 on this show.
I'm like, look at this dude, man.
Yeah, I don't think I know anyone with more Kobe's than him. My more recent guest, Kit Queen, Khadijah, she also has a lot of Kobe's. She stays in Columbus. Those two actually are the two people who made the Kobe Connection group on Facebook. But
okay.
Yeah, Daryl has a lot. So, like, I'd love to have some of the stuff he has, like, especially them Kobe 2s and 3s. Those have always been my favorite.
If I had his hand, man, I'd cut mine off. Shit, he got. I tell you, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've already spoken on what you're going to be looking for as far as Kobe's go. Are there any models of Kobe that you're like, nah, I'm not messing with any of those? Are there any that you don't mess with?
I mean, shit. I would say honestly, this is going. It's probably I don't Kobe 8. I like how the shit made, man. Like I know. And see, the thing is, it's a lot of Kobe 8s out right. A lot of Kobe 8s out there right now. I still can get, whatever. But I just don't follow that much. You know what I'm saying? I like the 9. 7's cool. I just don't really care for the 8 too much.
No, I feel it. I feel it. It's for me. Um, it's really like for me. It's everything after. Like the 9s are cool. I have some. I only have the high top. All the ones I have are high top ones. But the way you feel about the 8 is probably how I feel about the 10. If it's the 10 that's not Flyknit, like my Eastern one, like they aren't the same. The 11 was okay, but I think my love for the 8 is because that was the last time, and I'm not trying to say this disrespectful, but that was the last time Kobe was Kobe because that was pre Achilles.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you gotta be real about it. Like like after he tore his Achilles, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, like he was still really, really good, but he was no longer
he
all
was
time great like he was before.
good, man. He was just out there, man. Like he just wanted to prove that he can come back. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So, but for me, the way you feel about the 8, like I'm like that with the 4 and the 6. Everybody loves the 4 and the 6, but give me the 5, the 7, all the ones before. I mean, the 1 was kind of it's a Kobe, but since Ken Link designed it, he was LeBron's designer. Kobe 1s never really looked like Kobe's to me, like all the other shoes, because they're so bulky. But he was recovering from injuries, so it's like, all right, But um, yeah, 2, 3, 5, and 7 are probably my favorite ones. The 8 is kind of in the middle, and the post Achilles pairs are okay.
Right.
And then the Adidas pairs are like after them.
Yeah. See, I love the Kobe 6, man. It's very comfortable to me, man. Like, and it has one of the best shoes in it, the Grinch. Whatever. So like the Kobe 6 is that's my shit, man. I have the most Kobe 6s out of anything.
Yeah, I think for me it's 7 and 8, where I probably have the most pairs of those just because they were available. Like I said, 2 through 6 on the initial run, like you could only get them at Foot Locker. So, they were just harder to get since we didn't have a House of Hoops in Cleveland yet. But there is an Adidas Kobe that I do love that kind of gets shined over, and it did retro. It's now called the Crazy 2, but it was the KB8 2 back in the day. He dunked over Greg Ostertag in them. Those are like the Adidas Kobe's that I love. I mean, if I wasn't so lazy and
No,
the shoe room wasn't in the shape that it's in, I would definitely go show them. But
nah, man.
hey,
Stir the rest, man. Don't worry about that shit. I know what you're talking about. Whatever.
yeah, because he had there were only 3 original colors. There's a black and white, a purple and white, and a white. And I have the black and white and the purple and white. But yeah, those are definitely some of my favorites. But I've heard that before about the 8, but I still, because I'm still placing moments with the shoes. When I think of that black and yellow 8, I think of him dunking on Robin Lopez, man, or Brooke Lopez, one of them, and Gerald Wallace.
Yeah, you talk about Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my shit. They thought Kobe couldn't jump no more. You know what I'm saying? Ever. So, yeah, but for me, the 8 though, it just don't have no support on my feet. Like it's just like it sits like it's like it's gonna crumble. I don't feel comfortable wearing them. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. But shit, I mean, I got offers on Goat right now. eBay for all kind of shit. Like Chris, my boy Chris, he be like, yeah, they gonna charge your car for all that shit one of these days. I'm like, hey, I'm saying that. So long as they don't get too crazy. But like it's just I hate that. That you can't just get them anymore. So it sucks, man. You know whatever. It sucks. Like me, I don't get pissed off when I don't hit on some Jordans or some other shit like that. I get pissed off when I don't hit on some Kobe's. That shit makes me mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. So, and we're getting up to date, so forgive me if I've already asked this, but is there a holy grail Kobe for you?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's actually two or three actually. So I love the helicopters. Obviously, I'll never get I hope they change the name of the shoe, but I'll never get those again. The Grinches, what I'm saying, and it's so funny. I say I don't like the 8, but probably the Venice Beach ones. I like those a lot too, as well. Yeah.
Those are good.
You know.
Okay. Yeah. That's a pretty good list. There's still a lot of 8s out there I'd like to have, but I feel like I have some of the best ones. I just really there's an all purple one that he wore. It's kind of like a faded purple one, and whenever I see them, they're either really really beat, or really really expensive. And this was also pre his death. They were always expensive because even though people are still trying to tax for Kobe's, I feel like it's kind of come back to normal to where the Kobe's that are expensive are the ones that were always expensive. Like I'd like the Kobe 7. I have the 8, but I'd like the 7. But they were always expensive for me.
Right.
They're always high. So,
so how many pair of Kobe's would you say you have? I know you don't know exact number, but if you just had to throw a number out there, what would you say? Hypothetically.
Number it's 81.
81.
Ironically, I didn't even think about that until just now. Because I always say 80, but I did recently come up on a pair of Kobe ADs at a Plato's Closet out here, some Laker colored ones, and they were like $70 or whatever. And I'm like, I ain't really had no ADs because he didn't wear them, but they were Laker colored, and I'm like, my wife was like, you ain't never gonna see no Kobe's again for no $70 with the box.
And you don't know how mad I get when you talk about you go to these places, the Goodwill and Plato's Closet, and get these shoes for $50, $60. I'm like, I want to fight this nigga, man, for real, man.
Oh, I did come up on a pair, the Minneapolis Kobe 4. I did find them at an actual thrift store. They knew what it was because they were like $35. That's high for a regular thrift store shoes. They were really dirty, and I had to put some work into it, but now they good. So yeah, I mean, I have been lucky. I've actually thrifted a few Kobe's since we've lived down here.
Yeah, man. I hear the stories. I'd be like, damn, man. And then you got wifey coming through with the Kobe's too. I'm like, oh shit, like that's whatever. So
well, many people have seen the video. When I gifted her the Grinches for our wedding anniversary last year, I'm still living off of that. So you know what I mean. I'm still trying to top it.
Hey. But though, the one thing I say though, like it's funny though, like I feel like, and this is no disrespect to anybody, whatever, but like I know it's good to be humble, man, but sometimes I feel like you be too humble, man. Sometimes you gotta have an ego, man. You gotta remind these niggas who they fucking with, what I'm saying, whatever. So, like, and you did it the one time, with the video, what I'm saying, whatever, I am
the LeBrons,
Northeast Ohio, whatever, like whatever, like so. I mean, I understand it, like you've been doing this shit for a long time, so it's like how to buy shoes? I'm like, no, what kind of question is that, man? No, what I'm saying, whatever, so. Like it's good, man. Like I love to watch the shows, what I'm saying, to be able to get more knowledge of shoes and shit like that because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been buying shoes for 20 years because I have not, and I'm this crazy sneakerhead because I'm not. I like Kobe shit, it is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, people are gonna buy what they like, what I'm saying? And like I was buying Kobe's and shit, when it was $130. What I'm saying? So like I'm gonna, and niggas in Cleveland wasn't wearing Kobe, so it's like every nigga had on Jordans, every nigga had on Griffey's or whatever shoe they want to have on.
Forces.
Nigga had Forces, niggas, I had on some Kobe's, what I'm saying? So, but now I'm trying to tap into different things. Like I like Giannis shoes. There's a couple Giannis shoes I'm looking at, whatever, because you can't just wear Kobe's every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't got enough for one. So, but I mean, it's some LeBrons I like, man. But like, I feel like LeBrons cost too much.
They do.
Like, I mean, like shit. Like his shoes is now shoes like that they retro and all star shoes. They should cost 200 something or whatever. But I've got my son LeBrons that retail for $200. I got them for $75.
Yeah.
I just wait a few weeks.
Yeah. To me, with LeBron's specifically, like, depending on the size, if it's anything 11 and under, you can really kind of wait it out, except if it's a South Beach or a Big Bang. Anything
Right.
else, it'll get cheap, because there's some LeBrons I've had to just get in an 11 that wasn't as comfortable as a 12, but it was like it would be a difference of $100, $150 sometimes. It's like, oh, I get these for 100 instead of 250. I'll get the 11.
Yeah, I had ordered my son those one LeBrons off of Goat, and they was too small, man. I was so fucking mad, because they ain't no returning on Goat. So what's the LeBron? Hey, Chris, what was those LeBrons, Chris? I see you in the chat. What was those? There was came out with the movie, I think. What I'm saying they was like all black, with a little gold in them, whatever.
I think you're talking about the LeBron 8 Space Jam.
Yeah, those. What I'm saying. I ordered those. I got those for like 150 off of Goat. My son like, Daddy, these tight. I'm like, shit, I never order you some shoes off Gold again, But luckily, one dude came and bought them, what I'm saying, for the same price I got them, whatever. But they got some cheap LeBrons on Gold, what I'm saying, whatever, like offering. Boy, always talking shit. He like, Carl, you ain't buying no LeBrons, man. He thinks I hate LeBron, which I don't. I just kind of don't like the LeBrons and the Lakers.
Hey, I'm a Lakers fan. He brought us a championship, but I never wanted LeBron to be on the Lakers. I wanted him to just be on the Cavs because I felt like it was good for the city. And I felt like as long as he was on the Cavs, he would kind of have the Eastern Conference locked down, because if we're looking at it from a basketball sense, I mean, you follow sports, so you know what I'm going to say. The Raptors, a lot of those teams were better than the Cavs, but LeBron was all in their heads. So
Yeah.
as long as he was going to be here, he was going to dominate. If LeBron was still on the Cavs, this might be the first year where he might not have been as dominant. But at the same time, the Cavs are doing a lot of good things without him since Dan Gilbert is less involved. So it's probably better that he did leave in the long run. But in the short term, I never wanted him to go to the Lakers, because even now, it's been 4 years, and it's still strange for me to see him in a Lakers jersey sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's just like when I think of the Lakers, I think of Kareem, Magic, Worthy, Kobe, Shaq.
Yeah.
I don't think of LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like I know he's there. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like call it hey, whatever you want. It is what it is. It's my thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
LeBron serves a purpose, because since so many people follow him and he's such a merchandisable person, LeBron makes it where, since the Lakers were so bad before he got there, now you can go in the store and it might not just be 2 Laker hats, it might be 20 Lakers hats now, because he's there. So from a merchandising standpoint, I don't mind him being over there, but it's good for it to be Lakers stuff, because as much as we love Kobe, I don't want everything Lakers merchandise to just be him, or to just be Showtime, or to just be Jerry West and Will Chamberlain. Like, I just want regular Lakers shit, so that I can wear with anything. I can wear it with my weapons. I can wear it with my Kobe's. I can wear it with my LeBron. So LeBron has served that purpose from a merchandising standpoint to me. That's why I don't mind him being over there. And we did get the bubble championship.
Yeah, definitely put that bubble on there.
You know.
That.
Well,
So,
even with that, I feel like that should get more credit than it does. But we could talk about that in a little bit.
I don't think so. Yeah, but nah.
It's the minute, man. He was locked. They was locked down for 100 days without any family, any fans or nothing.
Well, you gotta have that mama mentality. That shit out, man. I mean, it's for a couple months. He'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
All right, I'll give you that. What was you about to say? I feel like I cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off, man. It's just I will say it's extremely impressive to win championships in three cities, bubble or not, whatever, you can't take that away from the man. But in my eyes, you know, LeBron will never be better than Jordan. I don't care how many damn points he scored, whatever. He's a great basketball player, but he's not. He will never be better than Michael Jordan. What's
Okay.
that?
So is Kobe better than Michael Jordan?
No, nobody's better than Michael Jordan.
Why?
Because man, like 6-0 in the finals. LeBron. I mean, you know what? LeBron will be better than Michael Jordan when nigga get killed for his shoes. That's when he'll be better than Michael Jordan.
Come
Let a
on,
nigga,
Ed.
he'll be better than Michael Jordan then.
That doesn't even happen anymore.
It'll happen. You know.
See, being from the 80s and 90s, we're supposed to say these things. But being a basketball person.
Thank you. What's this guy right here? What's his name? Black? Kobe
Like Tom Hagen.
That's my guy right there. Make sure am I following him, man? Make sure I follow him, man. The smartest man in the chat right now.
Other than the finals thing.
No, he ain't got to die, Miss V. He got to get shot.
Other than the finals thing, like that's to me. And again, I love Michael Jordan. Like hey, it's people that have known me since the 90s. I was wearing Jordans every day, but being older and still being a basketball person, I always ask people why, and I'm always interested in why they say what they say or what they're basing it on. Because yeah, Michael Jordan is the only great player I could think of that's been in multiple finals and never lost. But other than that,
I mean, he's also done it with less talent. Okay, if you go around, Chris, handpicking your team, you should not be 4-9 in the finals. Okay, if I told you I could pick if Jordan had a chance to pick his basketball team, a handpick, and if free agency how it was back when Jordan was playing, and if Jordan didn't retire, he got bored with these niggas. Okay, he retired for 2 years. He probably would have 8 championships. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James and Michael Jordan are two different people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the media, wants someone to be the next Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And they try to they hope LeBron was that. LeBron is his own guy. He's more like Magic to me. And to be honest, end of the game, Kobe gonna take that shot. Jordan gonna take that shot. And LeBron probably gonna pass that motherfucker to like his teammate, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. When he drives to the back, go dunk on the nigga, man.
LeBron LeBron has more game winners than anybody right now. What are you saying?
Care about that, man.
Look, I'm gonna say an unpopular. People are probably gonna leave this chat.
That's too far, bro.
Magic is the greatest player of all time. He's better than Michael Jordan. He's better than anybody playing today. Magic Johnson is the best player of all time. Okay?
That's your opinion.
I say this because he could affect the game just as much as Michael Jordan without having the ball in his hand half the time. And he made everybody better for his whole career. Even Kareem, who really should be looked at as the GOAT. But Magic to me is the greatest. And LeBron is, to me, LeBron is if you put Magic and Dominique Wilkins together and made them into one person with a little bit of Karl Malone.
Fair enough.
But the reason why I say Magic won just almost as many championships as Michael Jordan in a much tougher league. Now you can say LeBron's league is easier than Jordan's league, but I feel like LeBron's had harder finals to play in than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but he had easier path to get to the final. That JV ass Eastern Conference, why you think he stayed there so long? You paying teams that was not even 500 in the HC,
That's
he had a hard matchup in the finals, absolutely. But the East was trash.
not all the time.
All the time, except for when he got to like Boston and like '08 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was still a young player. That was like his 5th season. I mean, he going up against Garnett, Pierce, Allen.
I mean, yeah, the Pistons in '07 too, whatever. But what I'm saying though is, Chris, if Kobe played in the Eastern Conference, whatever, he would have went to the finals too. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. But Kobe played in that Wild Wild West when you get a Denver Nuggets in the first round. Okay? It wasn't no nights off in the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? You get Denver in the first round, Utah in the second round, and then you get who'd you get in the third round, Chris? I'll let you go ahead and tell me.
We're talking '08. It was San Antonio. '09.
Yeah.
09 was Denver in the conference finals, and 10 was Nash and Amari.
All them teams, fuck Chris. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I will agree with you with something you said earlier. LeBron has stopped a lot of cats from going to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a mental thing. The Raptors, look at Toronto now. They won a championship. I know they added Kawhi. You know, I'm sure DeRozan, he pissed. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's like, if I'll stay there one more year, I might have got one.
Yeah.
Whatever. What I'm saying is like LeBron went in Cleveland. That was like 4. You know what I'm saying? You know, but to me, in my eyes, LeBron don't compare to Kobe. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You know, but look at some of the players, all the Hall of Famers that LeBron has played with. You know what I'm saying? He's played with the most, in my opinion, he's played with the most Hall of Famers in NBA history. As far as, you know, I don't want to go back to like the 80s and shit. I'm talking about in his era. He's played with the most Hall of Famers in his era. You can't. I mean, LeBron is the GM. He's the player. He's the GM, and he's the coach. If LeBron don't want a motherfucker on that roster, he ain't gonna be on there. And you know, Brian wanted Westbrook, so stop blaming him for it. The shit didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? He should be more mad at AD. Always down. You know what I'm saying? That's what AD stand for. AD carrying the Lakers. LeBron.
You had the wife laughing in the background, man. You can't be talking like that, Carl.
I'm just saying, man. You know, I'm just saying.
Like Tom Hagen makes a good point here. The 99 and 03 Kings would have been fucking LeBron up. That playoff West was ugly. Between the Spurs and the Kings, the Mavericks, the
Sacramento,
in the mid and late, you know, I mean, the West was ugly. But I still felt like LeBron had to go through Detroit. He had to go through Boston.
That's the Eastern Conference, Chris. That's one series. Roger Bell beat Kobe ass.
You know, that shit actually came up in my stories or my memories the other day where he like clotheslined him and Kobe was going like this and brushed off his shoulders. Yeah, I remember that. No, I mean, but see, that's the way I feel about Jordan. Like, I feel like Jordan was never in the final that I thought that he was going to lose. And I was old enough to know what was going on. With Magic and Bird, I was still kind of coming up and learning about the game. But with Jordan, I mean, they beat the Lakers, and I'm going to sound a little homerish saying this, but that wasn't really Showtime. You know what I'm saying? That was Magic, beat down Worthy, beat down Byron Scott, and some niggas that weren't really Lakers that was just wearing the shirts. Sam Perkins was a Laker. Terry Teagle wasn't no Laker. Eldon Campbell was drafted by them niggas and wasn't no Laker. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that wasn't really Showtime. It was no Michael Cooper, no Pat Riley, no Kareem. So they beat up some Showtime remnants, and Magic was the only one really doing anything.
Right.
Now, and Tony Smith, right, Black Tom Hagen, number 34. I didn't think they were going to lose to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they were kind of even with the Bulls. They just, you know, Portland to me has always imploded. That's been a thing that they do ever since Drexler and them. They just implode. They'll get to a certain point and implode. He was never going to lose to Charles Barkley and the Suns, as good as they were.
Hey, but when is AD healthy though? AD healthy, he hurt every year, bro. He's a factor when he's healthy, but he's never available. That's why he's always down.
So that's why I feel like Magic is better than Jordan, because it was harder to win to me in the NBA in the 80s, because when it was the Lakers, the Celtics, the 76ers, the Pistons, Milwaukee, you had a lot of really good teams where you like, you know, these niggas might not win. Like, there was not a final that Jordan was in where I thought he was going to lose.
No, it's true. It is the finals I wanted the nigga to lose, though. I mean, it is the finals. I was tired of seeing Jordan winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted him to lose. I wanted Stockton and Malone to win one. You know what I'm saying? You know, but that's great.
Well, I hated them, you know, because they used to put out the Lakers all the time. It'd be Kobe shooting the air balls, and then they swept them in '98 when they had the 4 All-Stars: Kobe, Shaq, Eddie Jones, and Nick Van Exel.
Yeah, Nick
Fuck
Van Exel.
Hated them.
It wasn't a time that you had to wait, just like LeBron had to wait, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, like we knew LeBron wasn't winning in 07. Us getting to the finals was our championship. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I remember Kobe shooting them air balls. I'm like, dang. And what did he do after that? You know, now this is the one thing about Kobe and LeBron. They both, their work ethic is impeccable, man. They both brought something new to their game every year. You know, LeBron, his jumper has got so much better. You know what I'm saying? You know, but now he just shooting everything. Now he just going for that scoring title. He don't even care, man. Like, you know, but LeBron ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
He's solidified. You know what I'm saying? You know, top 3 ever. You know, whatever. You know, one of the best basketball players ever. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to definitely have appreciation for LeBron. You know, but the barbershop talk arguing about Kobe and LeBron back in the day, you know, now it's just Jordan. And, you know, see, this is my issue, though. If you look at Shaq and people like AI, guys that played against Kobe and played with Kobe, AI biggest thing, and this was when Kobe was living, he said this, so I'm not going to factor that into him dying. But Kobe specifically, AI specifically said, y'all, I think y'all disrespectful. Y'all don't pick Kobe in the top 3, you know, whatever, you know, like whatever. You know, like I go off of what the other players say, not fanboys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can call me a Kobe fanboy all you want to. I don't care. Shit, you can't beat my ass or whatever. But but you know, like man, all these
Real.
the NBA is trash, man. Everybody want to play together. Nobody want to compete. Like that whole, you know, that Lakers team ain't nothing but a '04 Lakers team. You know, when Karl Malone tried to get a ring and Gary Payton tried to get a ring, and that's what they get. And you lose. You try to pair all these niggas on the same team. That's what happens.
Well, like, all right, I've been blessed to be with my wife, like, for a while, and I remember she sent me a picture. I can still remember it. She sent me a picture when the Lakers that got Dwight Howard and Steve Nash. And I remember telling her that, I'm like, you know, this should work, but it probably won't. Anytime the Lakers get a bunch of big name free acquisitions, I ain't gonna say every time, but most of the time, when the team is too stacked, it usually doesn't work.
Never.
It usually doesn't. Like, I wanted them to beat the Pistons in 2004.
Got the ass.
I hated them in the 80s as a kid. I hate them now. I hated them then. I hate the Pistons. I hate that the Lakers lost them the way they did. They just wrecked them, you know.
But you know what, though, man? I seen it, you know what I'm saying? For loss, I seen it coming, unfortunately, you know, whatever, you know, like, and they got beat by the better team. That was another time I ain't watched SportsCenter for 2 whole months. You know what I'm saying?
That was hard. I mean, the Lakers had a dark cloud over them the whole year with Kobe getting caught up and Karl Malone trying to get at Vanessa and Shaq
Right.
doing their old thing and Gary Payton not figuring out the triangle. It was just a lot of bad shit that whole year, and they're lucky they even got to the finals. But
2 things about Kobe, man, like, you know, you can't do. If you got something personal, you can't tell Kobe because he gonna tell on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Kobe, you got in trouble, bro. You got no business putting Shaq business out there. That was some sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't appreciate it. I'm still mad about that. You know, whatever, you know. And the other thing is he cheated on his wife, but that's his business. You know, he didn't rape her. You know, he cheated on his wife. He fucked up. That's his problem. You know, what goes on in a man's household, wife. Now, I understand he's high, so it gets scrutinized. I get that. But everybody's trying to compare now Deshaun Watson and shit, you know, whatever. I'm like, Kobe ain't raped nobody, you know. He cheated on his wife.
yeah.
That's that man business.
Well, this whole Deshaun Watson thing that, you know, us Cleveland Browns people are about to embark on, it's going to be interesting. We may have to have a whole other episode about that. You know what I mean?
It is, man. But you know what, though? Just like this Will Smith shit, bro, like, it just make you want to get the fuck off social media, man. Like,
I'm tired of it.
at one time, motherfuckers making 6, 7 posts about, like, dude, go the fuck away. Like, nobody about that shit all day. I'm on vacation. I got to hear about this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, I might just have to log off. You know, whatever. If you don't want to deal with no shit, just don't deal with it, man. You know, whatever. But Deshaun Watson, I hope it work out for us Browns fans, man. But just shit always go wrong in Cleveland, man. Just like being able to take my son to the parade in Cleveland when LeBron did help us bring a championship to Cleveland was an absolute blessing. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. But so let me ask you a question. So what's your favorite Kobe moment? Whatever. Regular season don't matter.
Just one.
Or two. Shit, don't matter. It's your show, bro.
Probably. One play that always sticks out in my mind, and they didn't even win this game, was in 2008. He had on the black and yellow Kobe 3. But the play where he threw the ball against the hoop, caught it, and dunked it against Utah.
Okay.
And I always think about that. Think about that play, the game winner over Wade. I remember watching that live. I was at my mom's house. It's certain plays, the play you and I talk about where Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge had Kobe trapped in the corner, and he turned around on one ankle and shot it over both of them. The game was tied with seconds left. It sent it, I think, to overtime. That was the 65-point game against Portland when he had the 450-point game. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, the dunk over Greg Ostertag in 98, starting in the 98 All-Star game without even starting on the Lakers. I mean, it's a lot.
What up, man? That's my guy Ruben right there. He's from LA, man. He a real Lakers fan. I mean, obviously he's from LA, but that's my guy. He Kobe's too, man.
Shaq fouling out in the 2000 finals.
And people
say the day.
And let me cut you off for a second. See, that's the shit that pissed me off, Chris. Oh my God, I need another drink. But anyway, though, that's the shit that pisses me off. So, we understand that Shaq was the more dominant force. I get it, okay? It's a big man. He 340. You give him the ball, get the fuck out the way. I get that. But when Shaq out, Kobe said, "I got this shit." You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Kobe took over the game. Those games against Sacramento Queens, man, Kobe was scoring 48 points. You know what I'm saying? They were like, that's the shit I don't get, man. So in 04, I seen this shit coming. Kobe was getting impatient and shit, man. He like, this need to be my motherfucking team. You know what I'm saying? Shaq ain't work. Shaq was a dominant force, but he was lazy. And Shaq was great. I'm not trying to discode a crack, but a decision had to be made. And you're always going to go with the younger guy. You know what I'm saying? 10 times out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I just hate when people say Kobe wouldn't have won those championships without Shaq. That shit irks my motherfucking soul.
But see, Shaq wouldn't have won them championships without Kobe.
Exactly.
Other to me, I mean, when I think of those two together, I mean, I remember what you were talking about with the 48 points, 2001. When they just swept through everybody, they swept the Kings, they swept the Spurs and the Trailblazers, just because everybody thought they were going to lose that year. They didn't have a good year like they had in 2000. Their record wasn't as good, and they had some struggles. But once the playoffs started, man, I mean, that other than the 96 Bulls, that's the most dominant I've seen a team be with my own two eyes without having to watch some old ESPN Sports Century shit. Like 96 Bulls, 01 Lakers. We just dominate.
Yeah. So my favorite Kobe moment, man, was in 2009. That was an extremely tough year, losing my mom, that took a lot. I lost my mom April 22nd, 2009. So, playoffs come around, at this point in time, she was my fiance at the time, I had to convert her ass over to the Lakers, Kobe and stuff, whatever, like, how it is when you got a girl and shit, she gonna support the team that you support, most of the time, yeah, most of the time, because I see wifey in the comments, whatever. She funny as hell, but I had to hear for a long time, especially after 04, and then when Shaq left, Kobe, he won't win without Shaq, Kobe, Shaq went and made the song, Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes and all this other shit, whatever. I used to just like how I defend Jay-Z and Kobe and Tiger Woods. I love golf and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't buy no shoes though, but I still love golf though. But so when in '09 when Kobe won that championship, man, seeing him jump up and down in Orlando is by far my favorite Kobe moment. You know, because they said that he would never win again without Shaq, and
Yeah.
that shit made me so happy. You know, and probably my second favorite moment was 2016. His last time here in Cleveland, I was fortunate enough to take my son to his first Cavs game, which was Kobe's last game in Cleveland. You know, and it was an awesome experience. You know, whatever. You know, my son got the jumbotron and everything. You know, what I'm saying whatever. You know, but you know, also those games against Portland when he hit the shot. You know, what 0.8 seconds left. You know,
2004. Yeah.
one game. You know, what I'm saying there's so many Kobe moments, man. You know, what I'm saying whatever. You know, but you know, '09. Losing my mom, you know, and everybody know how much Kobe fan I am. It's kind of crazy because when he died, my dad called me. I'm like, Dad, I know. You know, he's like, damn, I can't believe this, you know, whatever, you know. And people were like writing on my wall, you know, like, sorry for your loss. I'm like, bro, relax. He's not my brother, bro. Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? You know, but people know how much I fuck with Kobe, you know.
Yeah. Like, people were calling to check on me like
Yeah.
relative because they knew how much you meant to me. You know.
But,
Oh,
you
go
know,
ahead.
I'm bad. My bad, you know.
But I do have to say this, since I still watch, and I'll tell people will look at me like I'm a weirdo, but again, I don't care. There were certain jobs in certain years where watching NBA highlights, especially his, it would get me up to go to work. You know what I mean? It was such an inspiration to me because one of my favorite things about Kobe was that he wasn't a fuck nigga.
Right.
You know, he was a regular dude. And he could do everything that everybody else did. And since a lot of people didn't mess with him, you know, if they were for the Lakers, they're like, man, I don't really fuck with Kobe. I just fuck with Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, and people were like, oh, you fuck with Kobe? Like something was wrong with me or something. But, you know, in the early 2000s, everybody was, you know, Vince, but really Iverson first. Iverson, Vince, McGrady. You have people, Steve Francis, you know what I mean? Like Paul Pierce. You know, I'm like, nah, you know, Kobe is my guy. You know what I mean? Like he's the best player in the game right now. I mean, the only person even close to him is probably, you know, if we're talking 2001, Iverson, '02 and '03, McGrady. Shaq doesn't count. He's the same.
Right.
But yeah,
Now,
yeah.
it was a time where, you know, everybody had to make a decision. Was it going to be AI or Kobe, you know, whatever, you know, like, you know, I respect AI because he was a little dude, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know, and the way he dressed. You know, he didn't give a fuck about nothing. You know, Kobe wasn't on that dress and shit like that. Kobe was on going to the gym, getting shots up in practice and shit like that, whatever. But AI, you know, the NBA owes him a lot because a lot of niggas want to dress like AI.
Yeah.
You know, and AI, I wish he's the type of person that would have had a chance to win a championship, you know, like whatever, you know, like to be that small and to be that dominant, that good, you know, and a trendsetter too. It was good, man. You know, like the NBA was so fucking good back then. Like, you know, because my original favorite players was like Grant Hill and Penny. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know. I remember fifth grade, you know, getting some feet like Grant Hills and shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, like you couldn't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, like I mean, you couldn't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? I won't buy them today. I could get them now, but I wouldn't buy them today. But it's just too much of a typical shoot about now. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got the white and blue Feli Grant Hills, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But the NBA was so fucking good back then, man. Like now, I don't even enjoy that shit. Like, you know, like my son, after Kobe retired, I stopped watching that shit. I ain't gonna even lie. And Duncan, because I respect Duncan a lot too. But these new dudes, man, these motherfuckers, they sneeze or they'll be out for tonight's game. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't have it, man. Like these motherfuckers, 26 years old, not playing back to backs.
Yeah.
Like, come on, are you serious?
Yeah. Like he's different, but when I see the bounce, when I see Ja Morant, he kind of reminds me of a Kobe more so. He kind of reminds me of Westbrook, the way Westbrook was a little more than Kobe, but he still got some characteristics there where I'm like yeah.
Right.
So I agree with you. The early 2000s was great. It was a lot of great power forwards, a lot of great guards. You still had centers. And it was kind of like a mixing of the two eras. It was what to come, but you still had a lot of '90s niggas around too. You know? So it was a good time. I mean, I'm glad to say that, even though it makes me feel kind of old, like, oh, this happened in 2001. Like, damn, I was already grown by 2001. But you know what I mean? I'm glad I got to see it, you know, for what it was. So, you know.
Although it was nothing better though back in the day when you had those Pistons and not Pistons. You had the Heat and Knicks games and Pacer games in the '70s, and like niggas played defense and stuff. You want to see these 30 points, man. I mean, I know things move with time. I get that, you know what I'm saying? But these niggas don't even play defense no more. That's why I like Kobe. Kobe played both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. You know, like he'll pick up D Wade full court. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like, you know, the shit that pissed me off with LeBron and what was it, '07? The year we lost to the Magic, 2009.
2009.
It pissed me off that LeBron didn't take the initiative to check the Hedo Turkoglu, the Rashard Lewis. This nigga want to check Rafer Austin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like these niggas, like Rafer Austin was a non-factor. You know, but the difference though, now I'm not saying Kobe did the whole game, but when Kobe plays them in the finals, Kobe was checking the Rashard Lewis's and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever, shit like that. You know, Kobe don't give a fuck who you is. You know what I'm saying? You can't rip your heart out.
Now, if we're being fair,
go ahead.
Dudes was shooting lights out, Rafer Austin included, against the Cavs. It was like they lit up and they had everything. They ran out of gas by the time the Lakers got there. So it wasn't like, you know, because I give LeBron his props in that series. I was expecting for it to be some more Game 5 shit, like, all right, he's going to take over now. But they hadn't played like that all season, and he shouldn't have had to do all that. To me, people always say he quit, but I always feel like Mo Williams was the one who quit because he was the second best player, and he always came up short in big games for the Cavs in 2009 and 2010.
LeBron has quit, but Kobe has too. So, niggas.
Well, I was going to say that in a minute, but go ahead.
I mean, like, that shit Kobe did against the Suns, you know, that shit still pisses me off. You know, because I understand you had a bum-ass roster and you was being criticized for taking too many shots, man, but you don't do that shit, man. You know, like, you know, whatever. You know, like, you don't do that. You know, but LeBron, the year LeBron quit, he knew he was out this motherfucker. He didn't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. Like, I mean, I don't condone it, but, you know, no, it ain't no cool in quitting, whether it's Kobe or LeBron or any player, man. Like, that quitting shit ain't cool, man. That shit whack.
Well, it is. I mean, we could dig a little deeper and be like, when the Lakers lost in 2007 to the Suns, after that, the year later, they lost to them in 5 games with virtually the same team. And then Kobe has to be traded for the second time.
Right.
You know, that really could have went either way, but I as much as I love the Lakers, I would have been a fan of his wherever he ended up. I mean, he was going to go play for the Bulls in 2004.
Right. Man, I was going too. That's like how I am with Tom Brady. I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm not I like Tom Brady, so wherever I was going to, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit.
Because the Lakers will always be my team. The Cavs are always second. The 76ers are like my secret team. If they're not playing the Lakers or the Cavs, I'll root for them, depending on who they're playing against. But, you know, I feel you on that.
So we got a question in the comments. Where do you place Kobe over LeBron? Who are you choosing for your franchise player? I'll let you answer that question.
We're talking like right now in this era, 2022. I still will say Kobe, not because this is the Kobe episode or because I'm talking to Carl or because you're from LA.
Don't try to
that. I just feel like Kobe would and Jordan, like those guys would kill in today's games with all the small ball and the hand checking rules change. Like Kobe was averaging 35.4 in 2006. What would he average now with that same mentality if he was on, you know, whatever team?
This is what I tell people though. Jordan is a shooting guard. Kobe is a shooting guard. Their responsibility is to shoot the motherfucking basketball.
Yeah.
You know, their mentality is not they killers. You know what I'm saying? They coming out here to drop 60 on your ass. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. You know, Kobe chased Jordan so hard, you know what I'm saying? You know, and don't get me wrong, I kind of hate it sometimes because niggas say Kobe ain't nothing but a poor man's Michael Jordan and shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, I mean, that's his choice. I don't mind like a player want to be great like Jordan. You know what I'm saying? You know, LeBron used to want to be great like Kobe and Jordan at one point in time.
Yeah,
But now, hey, nigga, can't say that no more. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, but like, I mean, I feel like in my eyes, you know, it's just my opinion. You know, Carl with a K. Um, you know, it's Jordan and Kobe for me, and you know, whatever, you know. And I do have LeBron top five, you know, no doubt, whatever. But
yeah.
it's Kobe for me.
I stand.
Period.
LeBron is a hybrid of Magic and Dominique Wilkins with some Karl Malone sprinkled in there for the strength. But you know, if Gilbert, yeah, Gilbert would be a monster too. He's somebody I feel like gets overlooked, but he does a lot now with podcasts and social media, so it's interesting to see his takes on things. But
Wifey players, not teams. That's funny.
yeah, because if the Cavs do something, she'll be like, "Why you happy?" And she'll call me a Laker ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Why you happy, Laker ass nigga?
I
The
ain't never heard.
Cavs. And I won't have no comeback. I
That's
just
good.
take it.
You know, I
But
remember in 2010 when Kobe beat Boston, dude. Like, you don't know how much pressure. I feel like I was playing in the game because I'm like, they cannot lose to these niggas twice, man. Like, you know,
bad game. The Lakers did not play well in Game 7. Like none of them did.
game was like what 81 to what? It was low scoring. You know,
It
Kobe
was
was like,
83-79. I still remember fucking Sasha Vujacic hitting those free throws, wiping, you know, his hair, wiping the sweat or whatever. But I was happy. I mean, I hate the Celtics. Though I will
yeah,
say in these years since, I probably hate the Clippers the most. I really, really, really hate the Clippers.
yeah.
But
About time they get their own arena, more JV ass niggas get their own arena and shit. You know, like
yeah, they
LA,
don't deserve to play in the Forum either. That's Magic
LA
in them house. But build
have,
another arena,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I feel strongly on that. You know, there's certain teams I hate, you know, and then there's certain teams I just dislike, but I hate the Clippers.
Chris, how many shoes do you have dead stock that you haven't worn yet? Any idea? You got a lot of motherfucking shoes,
See,
man.
you got light skinned forces coming at me across the table here. You can't be asking me nothing like that, Carl. You can't. You at least gotta let me know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? But I don't.
Hey,
And I'll be honest. I'll say somewhere between 50 and 100. I ain't even gonna lie.
man, Eric Mack's taking up your time, man. You gotta get this month over with, man. I'm like, shit.
Shit, I can't wait. I can't wait. I mean, that's a pile of shoes by the door before I even get into the shoe room. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That. So it's a lot, but you know, my wife has just as many. So,
yeah.
you know,
I don't have no 50 days stop here.
yeah. But I miss Kobe. I have to remember that he's gone. I watch his highlights so much, it's like he's still here. It's him and a few relatives, few family friends where I have to actually remember that they're not.
Right.
So, you know, but I really, really appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you making it happen, man. Like because we've been talking about it for a few months, man. And my biggest thing was like, I don't want to come on this show. I ain't got that deep ass sneaker knowledge these motherfuckers have.
That's why this whole show has been different. You know, we did just went another way. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Kobe. It's the Kobe episode. You know what I'm saying?
So, you know, what would you say something that would make you happy that they would release after they release this Gianna shoe? Like, what's the time frame? Because December is too long, Chris. That's a long way away, bro. You know, I need some shit earlier than that. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, so
At least 6 months out, but I would be happy with any shoe in Laker colors, any Kobe in Laker colors.
you've been stressing that heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? That, you know,
That
like they need,
come by
like,
playing.
yeah, bring back the Kobe ID, man. That'd be nice.
You know they ain't gonna do that. Fucking
And
melt down. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the damn resellers. Ooh, these are the Mamba moments. You know, 4-3-16. You know what I mean? Like, uh, um, but nah, man, a lot of Laker colors. But again, I just really, I have a decent amount of Kobe twos, but I don't have enough Kobe threes. And the ones that are out there, they were expensive before he passed. So, like, I need that All Star Kobe 3. I need that Asia home and away with the Lakers colors. I need the Lower Marion. I need the MVP. I need the SL, just the white and black one. He actually wore it though. You know what I'm saying? So I need all of them. Every
see,
pro troll I would be trying to get. And I don't think people would fuck with it because I don't think a lot of people remember them like they remember the low tops since there are so many Kobe low tops.
Right. And see, my thing is, I got Kobe's in 16, 17, and size 18 because the motherfuckers run so small.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just that, like, for me, like, even you go on StockX, they got every Kobe 2, 3, and stuff like that. They need to show some love to the big feet niggas, man. Like, for real, man. Like, I mean, basketball players, they wear a size 16, 17, man. And I know they all got them in the NBA, but, man, just release shoes to everybody, man. Like, you know.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you.
All I got to say, you know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. And,
I feel like AD keeps getting hurt because he's wearing Kobe's. He shouldn't wear Kobe's anymore.
Low top shoes, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's too damn fragile.
Nah.
That's why he's AD, because he's always down. You know.
That was funny. I don't even have a comeback for you. I'm mad I don't have a comeback, but it's good. But when he was with Pelicans, he used to wear high top shoes. Nigga, you need to wear high tops.
He was still hurt though.
Yeah, he still would get hurt.
You know, I mean, I play fantasy basketball, so I would have him on my team. Like, this nigga hurt again. Another 4 to 6 weeks, huh? Whack.
Hey, Kyrie is like that.
Yeah, he is too. You know, whatever. You know, that's why, you know, like, another fragile cat. You know, I respect Kyrie because his connection with Kobe, you know, and stuff like that. But, like, the one thing I don't like, man, when people leave the city of Cleveland, they make it so personal to throw shade on the city, man. I don't like that shit, you know. Even wifey too. I ain't never coming back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Yesterday, you talking about how the weather was. I'm like, you talking about sunshine, motherfucker? It's 27 degrees here right now.
That's how my father was sounded. Yeah, I cut the grass for the first time today, man. I was out there.
Cut grass. I put salt down. I was out there.
Hey, I know I'm gonna sound bad, but I'm really not ready to be fucking with the yard yet, man. I would rather it be snowing down here because, see, if it snows down here, everything is closed. Everything is closed. So I ain't got to work and I'm going to still get paid, all that. So I didn't go cap. I'd rather it be snowing here right now.
Right. Now, do your son is your son into sneakers or no?
Not for real. I mean, he wants to look nice, but he's not like me or his mom, you know. There was a time when he was a little bit younger, he was more on it where he would get a shoe and he'd be like, I can match this and this and this, but since he's become an actual teenager and the older he gets, the lamer me and his mom seem to be to him. He just wants white Forces and wheat Timberlands and Vans.
Simple, man. That's good. That's more shoes for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know?
Yeah. Like, his foot has grown a little bit and his interest in some of the shoes he had was waning, so I just took him since he's in an 11.
11. How
old is he?
Yeah.
He's 13.
Okay. Yeah, my son about to turn 12. He already wear 9.5. He talk about, Daddy, I want to wear a size 16 too. I'm like, boy, you crazy? Shit.
I wouldn't want to go past 14 myself.
Huh?
I wouldn't want to go past 14.
Man, tell me about it, man. You know, life would be so great. Man, I be want to cut my fucking toe off, you know what I'm saying? You know, just to get into a shoe sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, struggle is real, man. Like, you know, like, that's why I appreciate the shows, man. Like, I love to watch where everybody else getting this shit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't getting shit, you know, so I don't mind paying resale because the shit I very limited already. So, I mean, it's not like I buy shoes every week. I would if I could, you know, whatever, you know, but, you know, I guess this is about the end of the show, right?
Yeah, but nah.
I see that food ready, ain't
it? Hey, man, you got to chill out, man.
Hey, shit, you got to eat, man. Shit, you just worked 6 straight days, man. Shit, it's
man, the amount of love I have for you, I can't even express on this, man. I really appreciate, you being a part of this. I can't wait to come back home and for us to get up. I'm gonna bring some Kobe's just because.
Yeah, I'm right across the street from Lowmont Elementary School on Strand Hill, man. So
that's what I'm talking about. Shaker. You know what I'm saying? I wore Shaker crew neck today, but it's upstairs. You know what I'm saying? Look, before we go, I know, you went to Hay or whatever, but what are your impressions of the great Shaker Heights?
Well, so I love it, man. It's very diverse. Like when I got divorced from my ex-wife, I was living in Willoughby Hills, and I said, "Where do you want your son to go to school, Carl?" I said, "He ain't going to Cleveland Public School. That shit is out of the question." So I made a decision to move down to Shaker. He's been he's been in Shaker school since kindergarten.
Good.
But the street I live on, I got a white neighbor here, black neighbor here, Chinese one down there. Very, very diverse. I love that shit. It makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So, but Shaker is very good, man. Like, it's like they got. I mean, you get free tutoring, man, in Shaker.
Yeah.
Free. That shit is great. You know. And my son, he's got friends since kindergarten to sixth grade now.
Yeah. I mean, I love Shaker. You know what I mean? Like, but my last place I lived by myself before me and my wife started living together was in Shaker. I was up a little bit. I was on Toland in between Chagrin and Lomond. So, there's like an apartment building in the middle of a bunch of houses. It's random as fuck. But I grew up on Strathavine, which is, the other way.
Right.
Lomond and Scottsdale. So I love Shaker. It's nothing like Shaker on a summer evening. People coming home from work. It's like a neighborhood you see in a movie or something like that. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But, I want to give a shout out to the wifey, for letting you come on this live today because, she ain't have, taxes is crazy as fuck, though, but yeah.
Hey, man, nobody let me come on no live, Carl.
And,
she a light skinned or whatever, but ain't nobody let me come on no live. I do it when I want. Oh man.
You got a wife there, man, and keep doing your thing. And like you a humble dude, man. But like I said, man, sometimes you gotta let them niggas know, like whatever, like I do this shit, and you've been doing it way too long to not let them know, and they know who you are, what I'm saying, so keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate the shows. I guess I'm speaking from a standpoint, I used to say that shit when I was married, man. Like I'm talking about the old Carl, what I'm saying, whatever. So my bad, bro. What I'm saying?
It's good. This is all, this is all great. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to see, my reactions to this because I wasn't expecting that, but it was
no guys, they gotta hang your balls up when you come home, whatever, So you the man of the house, at the end of the day, what I'm saying, whatever, so it is what it is, like.
Was your wife a light skin?
Oh hell yeah. Like she right. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say that because I've love for all the sisters. I've love for all the women watching.
But we all, bro, like, come on, man. Like, I ain't gonna sugarcoat shit. I love all black women. I love women in general. Women ain't nothing more beautiful than a woman, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Home cooked meals. They say, honey, how you doing? Whatever, So I gotta get back to that though. What I'm saying, it's about that.
Honey, a light skin and be like, "What's up, nigga?" So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and run.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro. Have a good night. Stay blessed and stay well, man.
You too, man. I'll be in touch. Peace
out.